When Andor reaches Episode 4, something changes in the air. The Ferrix story burned hot and fast, full of clang and heat, but Aldhani begins in the cold. The temperature drops, the light flattens, and everything starts moving slower, quieter. You can feel the oxygen thinning. Every thread in the episode shares that same pressure. Cassian adjusting to the climate of rebellion, Mon Mothma trying to breathe inside the Empire's surveillance, Dedra Meero forcing intelligence through the filters of bureaucracy, Syril Karn being dragged back down into domestic gravity. Vel is flooded, treading water, thrown in at the deep end as a leader. The Empire is so pervasive it's become the weather, and everyone is learning how to live inside it. It begins fittingly with a machine so alive that it seems able to breathe. Inside the Fondor Haulcraft, Luthen shows Cassian what real adaptation looks like, total control of the environment. His ship obeys like an extension of his nervous system. Every system hums at his command, every move anticipates pursuit. The ease with which he commands its power is the first proof that rebellion in the right hands can be engineered. That's how rebellion survives here, through mastery of the same mechanisms that enslave everyone else. Cassian's journey is the most literal. He climbs into the rebellion like he's climbing into altitude sickness. Aldhani's air is sharp and thin. Every step demands control. Vel tells him to stay silent, keep moving, to learn before dawn. He's surrounded by people who ration everything: food, medicine, trust, belief. Even kindness is measured out like it's fuel. He expected hardened, equipped mercenaries, but he's found a ragtag group struggling to keep it together. Before Cassian's boots even touch Aldhani soil, we see adaptation happening at the top. Luthen passes Cassian and command to Vel like he's handing off a live weapon. His tone is precise, almost surgical, reminding her what to say, what not to say, when to let Cassian think he's in control of his own fate. She isn't new to rebellion, but leadership is a different altitude, and Luthen knows it. He's teaching her the first rule of command in a paranoid system. Authority means absorbing the panic of everyone beneath you while showing none of your own, and making decisions you may never forgive yourself for. In orbit around Coruscant, Luthen changes skins. The scene of his transformation is one of the strangest kinds of vulnerability Andor ever gives us. A man alone with a mirror, practicing a smile. The wig, the robe, the rings, every piece is armor but made to disarm those who see it. By the time Mon Mothma arrives, the gallery gleams like a temple built to hide heresy. He laughs loudly, gestures wide, makes sure she notices the artifacts that surround her mean something. At the end of this scene, he warns her that her atmosphere is about to change forever, even gives her the chance to back out if she can't catch her breath. Mon is suffocating. She's trying to fund treason while hosting dinner for fascists. Perrin fills the house with laughter and ghosts from her past, people who dine on starvation, and she's forced to smile through it. Here, the atmosphere is perfectly climate-controlled for Perrin, but Mon has to fight for every breath. In her world, rebellion happens behind etiquette. When Major Partagaz presides over his briefing, the ISB reveals itself as an ecosystem pretending to be an organization. Each officer presents their sector like a weather report: quotas, compliance figures, detentions. Blevin's firing of the Primor security staff for their failure on Ferrix plays like a bureaucratic exorcism. 3 men dismissed, their downfall logged as administrative success. While the final bell rings in a dawn of a new type of atmosphere on Molana 1, Ferrix and the surrounding worlds. One somehow more cloying than it already was under Primor. Every failure becomes compost for the next layer of control. Even in the ISB's architecture, the smooth circular table and the glowing floor, you see that perfection as suffocation. Power without heat. Dedra Meero wages her battle in rooms that are somehow colder for her than for everyone else in there. She stands surrounded by men who view curiosity as a liability. Her theory about the equipment thefts is sound, maybe even visionary, but in a department that measures control by numbers detained, too much thinking is dangerous. Dedra's required adaptation is spelled out to her. Stay quiet, tuck yourself away, and outperform everyone else to get the same level of respect. Even Syril falling through Coruscant's levels fits into this ecology. His descent is physical and emotional, from the corporate skyline to a dingy flat which barely ever sees the sun. His mother's slap feels like a seal closing on him. Everyone else in this episode learns how to evolve, but his change is for the worse. He fossilizes. Every space we visit has its own atmosphere. The Aldhani Valley is cold and thin. Coruscant's upper levels are glossy and airless, its lower homes humid and stale. The ISB's conference chamber perfectly conditioned. Each environment rewards a different kind of breathing. That's the quiet brilliance of this episode. It treats power as climate. The Empire doesn't have to chase you, it just controls the air you need to live. And in that atmosphere, rebellion behaves like weather too. It forms pockets, microclimates, a cold camp in the highlands, a hidden room behind a gallery, a data anomaly buried in a report. Every act of resistance in Episode 4 is about carving out a space where someone can inhale without choking. If the first 3 episodes were ignition, the machine being switched on and tested, this is the moment it stabilizes. The story widens into a system of ecosystems, each one learning how to survive the others. Everyone is breathing differently, adapting, finding whatever rhythm the air will allow. By the time the episode closes, everyone has improvised their way into a new form. Luthen has become 2 men. Vel is learning to lead without certainty. Dedra is chasing intuition through a system that forbids it. Syril is shrinking into his mother's apartment. Even the camera breathes differently now. Slower pans, colder light, longer silences. The show itself is acclimatizing, like it's realizing this is what rebellion feels like, a tightness in the chest and the discomfort of lungs adjusting. The Empire is a perfect, airless climate, a calculated, systemic tyranny designed to ensure no one can draw a breath of free air. But in every sector, from the cold high-altitude camp to the gallery's back room, a single vital fact persists. You can control the air, but you cannot kill the need for it. This type of atmosphere creates resistance. It can't not. It's a reflex. It's the necessary contraction of the diaphragm, the unconscious primal fight against suffocation. Or, as someone will put it 5 years into the future,
the more you tighten your grip, Tug, the more star systems will slip through your fingers.
And in that shared, simple need, the rebellion finds its infinite, enduring engine. Finally, for Cassian Andor, the sound of his acclimatization is the quiet promise of the dawn. Please like the video if you enjoyed my take, and consider checking out my Patreon if you want to help ensure I don't have to stop making these. We're always several videos ahead there. Thank you.